you ever felt like you finally have both of your feet on the ground? You have your community, a place you feel like you belong, and then all of a sudden, the rug gets ripped out from under you? This is what being a military child feels like. My dad's in the military, so I've lived in Nebraska, Virginia, Colorado, and Florida. I'm a literal walking map. However, trusting in God's plan was not always easy when I had to pack up my life and essentially start a new one multiple times. I have lots of siblings, 1 sister and 5 brothers. My newest brother born while I was performing at districts. I'm the oldest, continually making sure they don't die. My family was stationed in Virginia, but then was sent to Florida in 2021. As we began the next chapter of our lives, for the 5th time, we found our home church. I found my best friends, joined a soccer league that I was excelling in, and got involved with our church's fine arts program. I felt like my 2 feet were grounded and I hit the floor running. However, the rug was pulled out from underneath me. Right before I was about to leave for my 2nd nationals, my dad got a call. Omaha, Nebraska, in only 2 months. Don't know where that is? I don't blame you. It's in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't tell you how many times I cried myself to sleep at night. I had already lived there and did not want to go back. God, how is this part of your good plan? I'm not the only person who had to trust God when it came to relocation. Let's open up our Bibles to Genesis chapter 6. There was a good, faithful man named Noah who trusted in God. He had a family and overall had a pretty nice life. However, God was going to flood the earth and told Noah to pack up his bags, pack up his life, and move into an ark for a little over a year. I'm sure he was asking the same question. God, how is this part of your good plan? Now, going back to my story, while devastated by my upcoming move, I decided to try and enjoy these last moments with my friends. I headed off to good old Ohio for nationals. It was there where I learned that everything would be okay. During worship at one of the convention nights, they said to lay down everything that was on your shoulders and give it to God. So that's exactly what I did. I laid it down and trusted him to guide me through this next time in my life. Going back to Genesis 6, Noah did the same. He knew that God had a purpose for the move. He trusted that God would provide and guide him through this next season. It's one thing to say that we're going to trust in God, but it's another to actually do it. How do we build trust in his plan? Which brings me to my main point for today. We have to pray and ask God for faith to trust in his ways. How do we do this? It's more simple than you may think. I like to use the acronym PRAY. Praise, repent, ask, and yield. First, we can praise by thanking God for who he is and all he's done for us. Next, we repent for any place that we may have fallen short of. For me, it's typically asking for forgiveness for being impatient with my siblings. Moving on, we ask God for any prayer requests. More specifically, when I'm trying to trust in him, I ask God to give me faith that he will provide for me. Lastly, we yield to God. We sit in his presence and ask if there's anything he wants to reveal to us. During this season in my life, God answered me with Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord himself will go ahead of you. He will never leave you and he will never desert you. So don't be afraid. Don't lose hope. Prayer looks different for everyone. I'm sure Noah's prayer looked a little different than mine. However, this acronym is a good stepping stone for building a prayer life of faith. With every move, I've trusted in him, and he's kept on providing and providing for me. And he won't stop, like, ever. During all of these changes I've had to go through, God's been faithful to me. The prophet Jeremiah says in Lamentations 3:22, the faithful love of the Lord never ends, and his mercies never cease. I even get to be here right now, preaching my first sermon ever, and there's not even a fine arts in Nebraska. God had it in his plan to make a way for me to get here, and all it took was some surrendered prayer to let me give him control. In conclusion, the enemy tries to take us down by making our lives challenging, but does he ever win? No. Just think, without me moving here to Florida, I would have never discovered fine arts, and I would have never found my best friends. I guess God does know what he's doing. Now, as you go through your everyday life, remember that you're not alone. Even when you don't fully understand his plan, God is with you, and he will provide for all your needs. Thank you.